Technical issues, so just bear with us maybe for another 20 minutes max, and we'll see how we go there. Alex, it's your turn.
I mean, I met you yesterday.
Yes.
Which is kind of funny because I was in
3D.
In 3D, yes. So you are not some pixels on a Teams, which is it's kind of funny because I met your team sometimes June last year. And you guys kind of showed us what cool things you are doing in service management, and we show you what we are developing. And then actually your team came up with the idea to integrate first SMS into Jira, service management, and then WhatsApp. And both of those solutions are now live on the Atlassian marketplace. I mean, they're getting daily hits, they're getting daily downloads all around the world. So I think it was a good decision, but what made you go that way? Why do you think that solutions like Jira Service Management are benefiting from those multiple communication channels?
Well, if we look at today's fast-paced world, customers' behavior is changing and it's becoming increasingly digital. I mean, all of you guys probably know how much you use digital products and how your behaviors actually have adapted to it. And as a company, your communication channels obviously need to catch up to that trend, especially in order to stay relevant in the market. I mean, you want to reach your customers at the end of the day, and when they're changing their channels, you need to obviously adapt to that. Now, eventually, the customer, if you communicate to them through a channel that is more familiar, it will make them feel like they're not communicating to a corporation. For example, if you communicate to Vodafone over WhatsApp, but maybe to someone more familiar and more secure, because usually you use WhatsApp to communicate to your friends and family, and that actually makes a difference there, which is why it is important to move in that direction. Now, this is also the reason why we had suggested to integrate and create Omnichat for Jira Service Management, which we launched earlier this year. I mean, it's growing day by day, more downloads, more hits. We recognize that there is a vital need for these communication channels such as SMS and WhatsApp to be integrated into Jira Service Management, which is why we thought, okay, we need to take that exact approach. Now, the ability to talk to your customer in that unified way through that one platform is, regardless of the communication channel at the end, it triggers a feeling of comfort, not just for the customer, but also for us on the other end as an agent.
I mean, you mentioned the integration into service management. Sam, I would say it goes beyond that. And what I'm noticing on the market every once in a while, people are integrating like a chatbot solution which works on a, let's say, Viber or WhatsApp, but it's really addressing some basic use case. Yeah. And if it's not connected to the systems, if they are not able to extract valuable information out of those interactions that are happening, then this is becoming just another data silo. It's actually contributing to the problem of the data fragmentation that the companies are facing more and more. And actually, Infobip has a CDP platform called People to address this data fragmentation. And I have this personal example to share, which is with my bank, which is illustrating this data fragmentation. My mom and myself, we are using the same bank, and every once in a while they are sending those promotional offers for the loan on 15, 20, 30 years for a flat, for example. And that's all cool and dandy. But, I already have a flat with that same bank. Mm. And my mother is a 74-year-old lady. She's hardly eligible, unfortunately, for the 20-year-old flat. So they're really missing the point when they're communicating. And they've put an effort to assemble this campaign, to blast this campaign. And all they are doing is, with my mom, they're missing the point completely. With me, and excuse my French, they're just pissing me off. Because I see that they are now offering better conditions than what I'm paying.
Yes.
You know, so you know, they're achieving exactly the opposite due to this. And it's not like they don't have the birth date of my mama, and it's not like they don't know that I'm already having. It's just it's scattered around the systems, you know. But you know, this is depressing. My loan is depressing. So let's get back to service management. So how would you say that you know, service? Why would high velocity teams would need the service management solutions in the first place?
Well, there are a few things that we need to be aware of before I answer it. So, as we all know, IT is constantly and rapidly transforming, and it's building capabilities in order to enable rapid delivery of high-quality services that we see nowadays. So, if the trends are not just changing, but IT is changing as a whole, and it makes a difference in the way we live nowadays. Now, we have outdated and rigid processes that limit teams' agility and speed, and that's an issue. And old tools, they just interrupt the flow of information that is needed to make quick and sound decisions nowadays. Now, development and operations teams, they struggle to fight through siloed tooling, like you had just mentioned before. And it is critical to enable high-performing digital business. Now, Jira Service Management is an Atlassian ITSM tool that unlocks teams at high velocity. Now, we need to think about what are the key benefits there from a tool such as Jira Service Management. Now, it provides you the agility to deliver fast and without cost complexity and one-size-fits approach of legacy ITSM solutions there. Now, at the same time, it empowers all teams across IT departments, marketing departments, sales, legal, and many more. So it is not just restricted to these IT departments as people classically think. We're able to make work visible and transparent through collaborative platforms such as Jira across the company. Now, Jira Service Management enables integrations of omnichannel communication, like we spoke about it, through OmniChat for Jira Service Management, for example. But at the same time, it has a broad ecosystem of over 4,000 marketplace applications that enable to deliver the needs and solve the needs of various high-velocity teams across company departments.
I think I got a link clear for the IT teams, and you mentioned some teams like legal in a company, but you know, let's not forget about the sales and marketing teams, how they are benefiting from this linkage.
Well, especially if we look at the past 18 to 24 months with the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people and a lot of people are working from home. They're confined to their home space. And we see that internet usage has been rising, not just with our employees, but actually with the private sector as well that is sitting at home and using digital products in order to connect. I mean, they're not supposed to go out, especially during the curfew times that we're on the. Now, marketing professionals have prioritized digital solutions, and they did this during COVID-19 even more than usual. Customers can be reached along their customer journey through marketing and sales teams through the most effective way, through a channel that they use the most. I mean, in Germany, over 90% of the people use WhatsApp. So it'd be the best ways for the teams to contact the customer. It's the easiest way. I mean, if you think of it, the engagement rate is far, far higher opposed to emails. With emails nowadays, a lot of you guys probably opt into a lot of emails and you receive advertisement from marketing teams or sales teams where they're trying to contact you, but how many of you do really engage? If you're being contacted via a communication channel such as WhatsApp, which a lot of people are using, obviously the marketing and sales teams will definitely experience a higher engagement rate there. So my personal advice would be that in order not to be left behind, you need to adjust your communication channels, and this is what marketing and sales teams have been actually experiencing during the last
Makes sense.
18 months.
Makes sense.
Now, you've asked me a couple of questions. I have some for you as well. Now, we know that there's actually a conversation stage here as well, a product of Infobip.
We are on the answer stage.
We're on the answer stage, yes. Would you be able to tell the audience on how conversation helps with customer retention?
Yes, I mean, I probably need to first elevator pitch the audience on what the conversation is. So you guys notice that we are on the tracks here. The one is called Answers. This one, the conversation, is a basically contact center in the cloud that Infobip launched last year. There is also a Moments. I mean, I can probably talk about the conversations and the retention, but I think the better example would be to tie those three solutions. And it's a great example we have with one major insurance company. We rolled this case in about 10 countries. And the case is about the auto insurance. So what they did before is they were literally extracting the data and to understand who needs to insure the car, who needs to renew the insurance. And they were handed those Excel files, and they would go through those Excel files and literally dial those person by person. So this was really painful, annoying, repetitive job. And we automated this in a couple of ways. So we first connected the CDP platform to get this data, to add tags to the persons who are then entering automated flow. Once they get the tag that their auto insurance is expiring in about 30 days. And the first communication channel we used is an email. It's usually the cheapest channel. If there is a reaction, so they click on a link and they start the process to actually renew the insurance, they are out of the flow for the next communication. But if there is no reaction, then we fail back to WhatsApp. And we are sending this notification message because it's not a promo message. If you are guys using the multiple chat apps, it's highly unlikely that you ever receive the promo message via WhatsApp as a channel because they are really restrictive there. But this is notification message. Those guys are already having the relationship with that insurance company. If there is still no reaction, we would fail back to SMS. And SMS really has a high open rate. Usually the action would happen after that, but if there is still no action, we would place them the call on their mobile, playing the message, which is really personalized, addressing their case, that the insurance is expiring and so on. And only if there is no action even after that, we would actually route those calls to conversation, which is a solution, which is a contact center solution, and then we would have people really calling those customers. I mean, this way, you know, we automated this process. Out of 100% people that they're called, they are now down to 3 to 5%. So at the same time, they're having huge retention spikes in a sense that they are renewing those, and at the same time, they are saving money. You know, their people are not actually calling those guys, doing this repetitive job. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you basically mentioned that WhatsApp is being used for business, but you know a lot of people are still hesitant about it. Would you be able to give the audience a further example as to why they should actually use WhatsApp for business?
I mean, I'm aware of everything that happened with the WhatsApp. I mean, but for the business, you know, there is really a usage. You don't want to miss on the platform. There's no many platforms that are having billions of users. That's first of all.
Very true.
Then, you know, once there's this underlying theme that you should actually meet your customer on their channel of preference.
Yes.
You know, and this is then opening increased way for the customer experience. This is opening new technical possibilities. You can exchange documents. Those are new use cases that are, and then you are actually, you can automate this with the chatbots. So there is really a lot of benefits, but I think the example is the best way to get a message across. So this one is public on the infobip.com. and we did it for the Raiffeisen Bank in Moscow. So they launched this campaign, which was hugely successful, but it resulted in a number of people actually calling their contact center. It was tens of thousands. Tens of thousands. I'm not sure. I mean, you can read it on the infobip.com. But there was huge amount of the people calling this contact center. And it was jammed, you know. So what they did is create everything, put a lot of effort, and then on the last step, they are stuck because, you know, they cannot give the information to the people who are actually interested in that offer.
Bottleneck.
Sorry?
It's a bottleneck.
It was absolute bottleneck. So they introduced the WhatsApp, you know, and we implemented this via interactive voice response. So they had the option to either wait for like, you know, I don't know, 10 minutes, this music is playing, this call is being recorded, or to switch immediately to the WhatsApp. And a lot of people did exactly that. And, you know, this resulted, and those are not Infobip numbers, those are their estimate, with like around 20% increase in a Net Promoter Score, and with 10 times lowering the cost of the contact center. Now this is, you know, 10 times, this is a huge number, yes. But it comes out due to a combination of factors. Voice is still one of the most important channels, that's one thing, and yeah, but in the background you have those agents actually handling one-on-one communications, and basically you have, you know, for us, for the users, when you dial in a contact center, it's toll-free. It's not toll-free for the company. The company is paying for you listening that music, and this call will be recorded and waiting in a queue. They're all paying for that. So,
it's a very good point. You said that voice is one of the most important ways to speak to a customer, but the trend is going in a different way. The younger generation actually loves to just text on WhatsApp, so it does prove that there is quite an importance there, because the more we're moving towards the future, the more relevant messaging becomes actually at that, in that way. So that is definitely an important channel to reach the customers. But what do you think, in your opinion, what does the future hold for WhatsApp? Do you think it will stay just with that messaging? I mean, it's Europe's most used instant messaging service. I would like to see what you think of what WhatsApp will look like in the next years.
Okay, so I mean, short-term changes will come in a form of WhatsApp actually lifting the complete ban, almost complete ban on promotional messages. So they'll, but that doesn't mean it will become a spam channel, you know, all of a sudden. It will be rolled out in a, let's say, a controlled manner. They'll approve every template, and it will actually need to have some relevance. You're not going to be just receiving the messages. It's going to have some relevance. And this will, I think the next year, it's announced that this will also have a business model change, which I'm not now sure about the details, but they'll move away. I think they'll discount this customer support window, 24 hours customer support window, which will allow the companies to actually, you know, communicate for free as long as you initiated the communication. And from your last message, 24 hours was free. I think they'll move away from that. This is not official still. You know, on the long run, I don't work for a WhatsApp, so this is a kind of educated guess. But if we see what's happening on a Far East with some applications, I think this is the road WhatsApp will take. And you know, I'm using Uber to order the ride. I'm using different applications to order the food.
PayPal to send money, friends money.
Exactly. I mean, to you know, for all the different things. I think they'll go in a direction to actually unify this to happen within a channel that you prefer.
I mean, I would love to see a unified channel there. I would love to see using WhatsApp to send my friends money, but also maybe order food and pay for it in the same way. I mean, it would make life easier. Too many apps on the phone. So we should unify not just communication channels, but also other services onto various platforms. So basically what you're saying is you think that WhatsApp will move away from just being an instant messenger to becoming a platform that provides various services? Exactly.
This is what we are seeing happening with some of other chats, and with this audience that is really eager to first adapt to the new technology. It's having a success, so it might come to WhatsApp. Again, disclaimer, this is just educated guess.
We don't know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your patience. I hope you guys are not starving too much. Go and have your lunch. Thank you for your time and see you soon. Thanks, Alex.
Okay.